Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with episode number 111.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I see that every day, every episode, but yeah.
Seeing that, like, 111, my God. We're back, my cup of tea, of which we are covering miscellaneous.
Kaiju.
No, yeah. We've got a lot of Godzilla stuff this past week alone. My God, Evan.
Yeah, okay. I just had to send the tweet out. I'm super excited because, I'm enjoying Monarch Legacy of Monsters. It's not phenomenal, but it's a very fun time. We saw Shin Godzilla on Tuesday. Blew my mind how great that was. It was not the movie I was expecting. It was a political thriller disaster movie in the best of ways. And then, I saw -1 on Saturday. It is crazy. -1 wasn't on my radar going into 2023. I forget when the buzz started. I think honestly when the trailer came out for -1, when the first trailer came out, I was like, because usually those Japanese movies, I don't know the release configuration. If it's like, oh, it's gonna come out in Japan and then it'll be like a year until it comes out in America. But the trailer comes out and it says December 1st in America. I'm like, oh wait, I can see this year and it looks that good. Okay, let's fucking go. Let's watch it. And holy shit. And I'm so happy. Like I watched that first trailer and that was it. And recently I showed my parents the trailer and they were like, oh, it looks cool. But there are subtitles. It's not in English. I'm like, yes, Mom, you can read subtitles. Like I ain't gonna read all that. Anyways, but yeah, we saw what?
Maybe they'll watch the dub.
Maybe, yeah. I think they will because they on Netflix. Whenever they're like, "Hey, Evan, you should watch this movie," I'm watching this like a dubbed international film, foreign film. I'm like, this is not good. Like, I needed to be in this actual language. Anyways, -1 was phenomenal. We'll talk about it, but holy shit, one of the best movies in the entire year, easily. Man, it was so good. I love one of those experiences. My theater was packed too. I love a packed theater for this kind of movie.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to save it. I'll talk about it right now real quick. There was this guy in my seat, Nathan. In my seat. And I hate that. It's very rare, but like I get there, I'm F10. I see this motherfucker in my seat. I look over to F11 where Jalen was supposed to be sitting, but Jalen's currently using the restroom at that time. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, there's a drink in F11. There's a guy in F10. I'm like, you're going to have to scoot over to the right. So he's like, can you wait till my friend gets back?
Why?
I'm like, why? Or you can just move right.
Yeah, it's just more effort to like.
Right. It was so weird. And I'm sitting there and I hunched over because I don't want to be like the tall guy in front of, because I'm in the second to last row. So the top row can see my freaking head. So I'm just like trying to like, hey, can you scoot over? The trailer's playing. I'm like, come on, I want to sit down already. My back's hurting. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just sit down. So it's really awkward. I sit down. The guy's friend who wasn't here, his drink is still right here. The guy is still right next to me. And then Jalen comes in. He's like, where do I sit? I'm like, you're supposed to sit right here. The guy then finally moves. His friend then comes, sits where he's supposed to be sitting. I have to pass over the drink to his. It was really awkward. It was stupid. I mean, this guy's an idiot. Anyways, Godzilla -1. Really good movie. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about today. Where do you want to start? We have, and then the trailer today. Do we start with the trailer? Do we start with the hot new thing? We could do that.
Yeah, we could do that. Should we watch it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's watch it. We'll watch it and talk about it. Let me look it up here. Godzilla versus the ape, right? That's what it's called.
Yep.
Not versus the ape. It's with the ape. But, I put in Godzilla versus Kong, and first thing that shows up is the right movie.
Warner Brothers Pictures is what I typed in.
Oh, nice. I should have done that too.
I know.
What I press. But yeah, pretty good week so far. I'm excited. We have a lot of good stuff today. Kaiju night's always a great night. There we go. Share. Booyah.
Nice.
How's it look? Oh yeah, there it is. Perfect. It looks great. Okay. Let's watch this bad boy. Okay. Let me just tell me if there's any audio or video buffering issues.
Okay. We're good.
Scraping. So yeah, I've already seen this. Nathan has too because I watched his reaction.
Most of human civilization.
Guys, go watch the reaction video from Nathan. It's really good.
I shouted out my pod at the end of it.
I did.
Come
I heard
tonight.
that.
On the surface of our planet.
I love the seismometer going with the beat. Really creative.
They use that later during the Pit of Kongs.
What else were we wrong?
Yeah. So we have our boy Kong has like a gauntlet.
Yeah. Well, upgrade.
What's the Under Earth card again? What's it called?
Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth. I said Under
This
Earth. Hollow
world has
Earth.
more secrets.
Crazy how tech based these movies are.
Yeah.
I don't know
you
who this
watch
actor is.
Garrett's movie. You're like, how did we get here?
I know, right? Gareth's movie is so grounded.
So Kurt Ball didn't expect this.
Yeah, we talked about this this movie, right? You talked about this in the past.
Some ideas, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not Kong.
I thought that was Mackenzie Davis in the posters, but I don't know who this actress is.
It's Rebecca Hall.
Rebecca Hall. That's Rebecca Hall?
Yeah, from the last one.
Isn't she brunette?
Yeah, sure.
What do they do with her hair?
I don't know. Where'd Skarsgård go?
Where's Skarsgård?
But hey, this looks interesting.
That looks cool, yeah. So this is the daughter, right? She's wearing
That's Gia. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, damn, he's dead.
Kong can't stop this on his own.
I do wonder
She's
what
grown a
this
little
is.
He won't be alone. The GO is here. The GO.
Hey.
The reason you come to the theater.
He's evolving.
He's Barbified.
Somebody called him Barbenheimer. I was like, that is very accurate.
We have this bad boy. The other apes.
Looks good. This is interesting.
Very interesting. I didn't expect this. The pink layout. It looks cool.
Yeah. This last shot gets me really hyped.
That's awesome.
The energy.
That's crazy.
Ah!
That's wild. That's awesome. Running together. I mean, honestly, Godzilla and Kong versus this orangutan, it's over.
Is that a mini Kong?
Evan's favorite character, Brian Tyree Henry's back. Which, you know, I saw him, I was like, okay.
Even in this trailer, he's just talking about what's going on here. Like he's reiterating stuff from the movie. Is that a baby Kong? Well, how are we going to defeat this thing? It's like he's like the audience spokesperson. I hate those kinds of characters in movies at times. And his character in the last movie was just so bad. It's so refreshing watching. You can change ours.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
sorry, my bad.
Um,
Also in by words.
Thank you. It's so interesting watching the Japanese films, like from 54 to Shin to -1.
I mean,
I'm
they treat Godzilla very seriously.
they treat Godzilla seriously, and I understand it. Like from legendary perspective, actually I don't understand it, but my interpretation
they're going
of it
for
is
fun action, right?
they're going, yeah, exactly. I don't understand it, but you know, I get it from a event standpoint. Let's make this an event. It's supposed to be fun. We don't need to be all serious and devastating and heartbreaking and great, but we can just be fun.
We don't need to be great.
We don't need to be great. Let's just put butts in seats. And these movies put butts in seats because it looks freaking cool. It's Godzilla, Kong. People aren't expecting Oppenheimer, right? We're going to get what we're going to get, which is Godzilla kicking ass, Kong kicking ass, and this
I wanted to watch Oppenheimer and -1 back to back. That is a great double feature.
That'd probably be a great double feature. I would love that. Yeah, that'd be great. People thought Barbenheimer was a great double feature, but now we have Oppenheimer 1. I don't know.
Oppenheimer -1.
Oppenheimer -1. But yeah, that would be a great double feature. But yeah, these legendary movies, don't take them too seriously. There's a fun time. I can't even tell you what happened in the last movie because
I got you.
Thank you. Do we do a commentary about that? Do we do
We
that
did.
one yet? We did. Okay. Just check. I forget. We've done like 50,000 commentaries. I forget half of the ones we did.
I finally updated the playlist. I think we're at 130 in the commentary pool. That's more than episodes, goddammit, of the pods.
That's wild. How are we more consistent with commentaries? I mean,
All you gotta do is click play.
All I gotta do is click play. There's less, for me at least, note taking. There's less prep for commentaries. But yeah, I'm excited for the movie, man. Do you have any? I was gonna ask you something. So my first question was, who was that woman? But you just told me that's Rebecca Hall, which is
from the last movie.
Crazy to me. That looks nothing like Rebecca Hall.
She got a haircut.
Why do studios? This is the conversation we need to have. Why do these studios feel the need to give women these bob cuts? Remember Fast and Furious? Now this.
I will say this still looks better than whatever they did to Cypher. Which I think the last entry was like, all right, we've leveled out. Fast X doesn't look so bad. Even her character isn't as bad.
Yeah, they gave her a better haircut because now she's on the good side. They're like, oh, we can give you a good haircut because now you're a good character. But she was bad. They gave her
F9 was atrocious.
F9 was something else.
Oh,
like
man.
if I'm Charlize, I'm like, there's no way I'm walking on set with that thing on. No way.
Do you think that was her idea?
Way.
You think
if it was, then yeah, she's probably going through something.
But yeah, this looks fun. If I feel so odd coming off of -1 into this because I'm like, oh god, it's like you had like a delicious like steak and then it's just like sugar. Fuck.
Yeah, like you eat a full meal at the restaurant, you're like, this was the best meal ever. Then a waitress comes up to you and she's like, would you like dessert? And you're like, I mean, sure. It can't be as great as the meal, but I'll have it. I mean, it's dessert. It's good. It's sweet. It's tasty. Same thing for this one. It's cool. It's flashy. It's wow. It's now.
And how.
But other questions. So, what do you think is going to be happening with Son of Kong? Is he gonna? He has to be having a major impact on the movie. Is he going to be a bigger impact than Scrappy-Doo in Scooby-Doo 2?
Well, he was the main villain in Scooby-Doo 1.
Scooby-Doo 1. I always get those movies confused. Who's the main villain in 2 then?
There was a multiple villains like brought to life.
Yeah, Scrappy was the one with the first year, right?
Yeah, Scrappy was Rowan Atkinson in a robot costume.
Yes. Oh man, that'd be a fun commentary. But yeah, so what do you think his impact of the movie is going to be? Is he going to have any kind of? I mean, he has to have something going on. I don't know how.
I can imagine. I don't know if you hit your mic or something, but say something.
Hello.
That's better. Okay. Yeah. So I think they will be going the Son of Kong route. I think my theory, just based on the fur color, is that this might be the son of our antagonist.
That's what it looks like as well.
So I can find that compelling, especially as like an even deeper motivation. I'm not just like Godzilla and Kong are trying to stop me, but they also have my son. Like,
yeah, my son has a closer relation to Kong than the father. Oh, what's up, Orange Grove? Thank you so much. We're just gushing about kaiju. But yeah, I guess that'd be an interesting take about like a found family aspect there where Kong finds another son. Because in the last movie, it looked like his whole species was wiped out. But now we have all these apes. Are these flashbacks or are these present day?
I think it could be present day. It does seem like the antagonist is ruling through fear. I think I heard from rumor reports that the character's name is the Scar King.
Scar King.
Yeah.
Just copying Lion King and adding King there.
I think he's got like scar on his hand. That's why he's leaving all the handprints and everywhere.
He also had something on his, like the skull belt thing. I don't know what that was. Bones,
a bandolier or something.
Bandolier. Yeah. I wonder what kind of weapons he's gonna have, if any.
He just got that long range orangutan attack.
It could just be his physicality, long range physicality. But I'm excited to see how those battles are gonna work out in the movie. The way that Godzilla versus Kong worked out was that there was certain stages. Like in the beginning, you had the first fight, the second fight, then you had the last fight. Like for a big movie about this, where we have 3 different types of kaiju, I wonder how the fight scenes are gonna work out in the movie. I have no idea what the human characters / Monarch are going to be up to. I guess we have Rebecca Hall is back with her pseudo daughter in Gaia. Like you said, Gaia, right? It is Gaia.
I think I just said Gia.
Gia. So yeah, she seems to be more wearing the ceremonial aspect in this. At least in the beginning parts of the trailer. At the end of the trailer, we see her in casual clothes with Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, it's it's hopping around. That's
So
editing.
we'll see what's going on. But she was the best part about the last movie, at least the most compelling human character in the last movie. I didn't get
I'll say in the franchise, until Monarch. I like people in Monarch.
Yeah, we'll get to Monarch. I'm liking them as well. A friend from the chat, Josh, he said he liked the characters in Kong. They're okay.
He said he thinks Kong is the best film out of all of them.
I don't know how to rank these movies. I really don't. They're so weird. Even when we watch them all in commentaries, I'm like, 2014 is probably the best directed, and it has some of the best scenes, the best prologue, but it's so boring after Bryan Cranston dies. It's just a ridiculously boring movie until the third act.
I'll say I think King of the Monsters has the best visuals.
Easily, yeah.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, look at Godzilla Kong," and it's like, okay, take away the neon. All right, and it still looks good.
Yeah, Tokyo was so neon. Why?
Hong Kong,
sorry. Hong Kong was so neon because I know there's lost the Asian audience, but Hong Kong was so neon. I'm just like, you can't, not do that. It's like doing Mexico in yellow.
Every time I think of Hong Kong now, I think of the fucking Argyle trailer.
Why do they play that in front of everything?
In front of -1, I was like, I'm just gonna have a field day.
Me too. I'm like, I saw that. I'm like, flipped on the phone because I'm not watching it again. I've seen it so many times. It has a good beat to it though. It's like it's not a bad trailer. The beat's fine, the music's fine, but it's just like I'm tired of it. That and the Bob Marley stuff. It's got to go.
I haven't seen that trailer in a while.
I see it in front of everything, dude.
Really?
Not in front of -1, but I think it was in front of the last movie I saw. It might have been in front of Wish, but I don't know. I don't think so. Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, this movie looks interesting. Godzilla, I don't know how he ended up hibernating in ice.
No, last time we saw him, he shook King Kong's hand. Was like, "Peace out, I'm going back in the water."
Right? It was like, "You gonna drop that axe? No, I'm gonna drop the axe." All right. That's why Kong's not using it when they team up. He's like, "That's disrespectful. I got to get that glove," which looks cool.
It looks great. It's so funny. Again, it's been trending online all weekend about like how Godzilla smashed Kong throughout the movie. I mean, there was a pretty clear answer, right? Godzilla won the battle. Even I think Adam Wingard said Godzilla won here.
Godzilla won, but then Mechagodzilla beat Godzilla, and then Kong beat Mechagodzilla. There's an interesting trifecta.
Teamed up. I mean, Kong didn't solo Mechagodzilla.
You're right. Yeah, Godzilla had to power up the axe to get
exactly. There we go.
But he got the fatality.
Fatality for sure. Godzilla's like, you can get the credit. I don't go fuck. It's over.
But as far as how this goes, should be interesting. I know I'm hearing some comments from Adam Wingard this weekend that he's saying the title reflects specifically the team up between Godzilla and Kong.
So the new empire being the new empire of unity, that kind of thing, of like working together. Okay.
And probably baby Kong as well. This snark. Now, watching the trailer, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I have been praying for one day that I will get a Son of Godzilla modern adaptation. I want to do that. And I primarily wanted to go the route of like the lead up to like there's an instance where Godzilla dies and his son takes over his place. And I think that would be plenty emotional because we've had quite the number of entries of Legendary Godzilla by this point that it would be emotional enough.
Going on next year will be a decade since his introduction to audiences, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2014, King of the Monsters, Godzilla versus Kong, and now here we go for his fourth run here.
And in
is
Monarch.
he gonna have in Monarch? Is he gonna have more appearances than a lot of the MCU heroes? And they're returning here.
No, Wong's still at 7. Wong is lap Doctor Strange.
That's wild. I mean, Tony's been in the most, right? Has he?
I'll count. We got 1, 2, Avengers, 3. Age of Ultron, right? That was the next appearance, and he's in Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, and Endgame. It's 9.
That's 9. Nobody's beating 9.
How many Cap have? Because
Cap has his trilogy.
He's on all 4 Avengers. Does Thor: The Dark World count?
Nah.
I mean, that was Chris Evans.
That was a day on set.
Yeah, but I mean, this is in the contract.
That doesn't count.
Does Homecoming count?
Yeah, see an arc.
An arc in Homecoming?
Yeah, he was there.
He was VHS tapes.
I was talking about Tony, but
that's not his tie.
You are not going to count VHS tapes or Dark World.
Oh, I count Tony Incredible Hulk. That's 10.
You did? You counted him in there?
I count it now, so now it's 10.
Okay, but yeah, nobody's beating those guys. But either way, Godzilla, you have quite the repertoire, filmography.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. Beyoncé.
What was that for? I just saw this.
The Mean Girls trailer.
That's right. I just saw the Mean Girls trailer. What did that play? I got that in front of the Hunger Games.
Yeah,
which I saw. I really liked it.
Oh yeah, you saw it recently. Yeah. Snow comes out on top. What a great movie. What a really great movie.
A lot of banger lines.
Yeah. I had a blast with Hunger Games -1.
Watching it, I felt like how it felt watching like other, not just Hunger Games movies, but like the Harry Potter series, where it's like the adapting the young adult novels, but like you feel the care in like the cinematography and like the set design. Like it's like a warm blanket. Like we're back.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Yeah, it looked beautiful, and people not make fun of, but people like say the third act dips. But a lot of my favorite moments were from that third act, with where he gets a slower pace and it like kind of brings the film down a little bit. But I had a blast with it. Yeah, overall great movie. Yeah, this November, December is like stacking up in terms of like great movies. Like I keep having to adjust my letterbox. I was gonna do my top 12 of the year, but I think I want to rewatch Suzume.
Me too.
Because it's on Crunchyroll now. I'm like, okay, great. I've been checking the Blu-ray for that, but it's not coming out in the US for some reason yet. It was like you can order it from Japan for $30. I'm like, or I'll just wait.
Is it going to be region locked?
I don't hope not. Like Your Name, I got the Blu-ray immediately. Weathering with You, I got the Blu-ray immediately. But I'm waiting for Suzume. But yeah, I want to watch it because I'm like trying to juggle. Did I like this more than -1? Did I like it more than Past Lives? Like it's in my top 5 though. But yeah, my top 12, my top 10 is really hard to rank right now. Anyways,
there's any last thoughts on the trailer?
I don't know. So do we think Godzilla's chilling just somewhere randomly, not in the Hollow Earth, or what?
I don't think he's in the Hollow Earth.
Okay.
Specifically, I mean, it takes a whirlwind of time to get there. So I mean, I think the final battle is taking place in Hollow Earth. I think that shot of them running is Hollow Earth. I did find it interesting in connection to the recent episode of Monarch that it seems like Kong comes up through like a portal in the ground in the beginning of that trailer, and the last episode kind of made it look like there was some portal holes to Hollow Earth in different spots in the Arctic.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about Hollow Earth in those sequences, but that's a good call. You mentioned Kong?
Yeah, in the beginning of this trailer, his gauntlet hand like rises out of the ground.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the layout goes. But I'm excited for the movie. I'm not like super optimistic about like the movie overall, but it looks like a fun time.
I was hearing reports about test screenings that have transpired, and I hear the movie is pretty funny.
Oh no! The
um,
comedy in this franchise is bad, 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 bad,
it's not the
bad.
best.
It's like modern day commentary, if you know what I mean. It's just like
Yeah.
what's funny these days. Let's put it in the movie. Not great, Bob.
I think a lot of that also goes like with like monster dynamics as well and like their interactions.
Yeah.
But also I'm not gonna say, but I've heard a certain kaiju who we have seen before pops in, and that sounds exciting. I look forward to that.
Okay. Is it the three-headed freak? What was it called? Ghidorah?
Do I confirm or deny?
Ghidorah? No, you don't. It's okay. I don't care. Yeah. What else did I say? Oh, I have my notes here. A Furiosa trailer. Did you watch that too, or?
Maybe I did watch it offline.
Yeah, let's watch it real quick because I've only seen it once.
It's a
We have
really good
time.
trailer.
It is really good.
Anything with Anya Taylor-Joy is really good in my eyes.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie if she's there.
Yeah. Oh dang!
Is there a
I
movie you
started.
don't
It's
like
like,
about her? She's
What?
in Glass, isn't she? I was like, is there a movie you didn't like that she's in?
No, I like Glass. Remember, I'm one of the people who defend Glass.
I like Glass too.
People don't like Glass.
I like 98% of Glass.
The water sequence is not the best, but I have fun.
No, I'll be mad about it.
Okay. I'm not
my
that.
waiting.
I'm not that like I'm not that close to
19
the
years
characters.
ago.
I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't grow up watching Mr. Glass or.
I don't
whatever.
mind if a character passes. It's just like in the way. It's like that's my Ben throwing off the cliff is still my Ben throwing off the cliff, but like in this instance, that's the same for me.
Wow! Oh, come on!
Come on, I mean a puddle. He got out of the big ass tank, but like the puddle.
Yeah,
I'm mad.
Not great. Okay, so we're back, Nathan. We're back. Furiosa. This is a movie that I've been anticipating for a long time. I thought it was going to come out this year because I think they filmed it in like 2022, last year. Yeah, I think they filmed it like last year or maybe early this year, but they kept it for next year and it looks freaking fantastic. So here we go, Furiosa from Mastermind George Miller.
Whatever you have to do. However long it takes.
Like throw back to that first shot
Mm.
from the original Mad Max.
The original.
The 2015.
The fourth man.
Furiosa.
I know.
Give me this
This
promise.
looks very dirty. "45 years after the collapse."
This does make me want to go back and watch Fury Road.
We gotta do commentary because I saw your comments, Nathan, and I'm not happy.
All right, well, sway me.
Finding her way home. This is her odyssey. Let's go.
That's really cool. Just visually,
Music,
stunning.
the visuals.
I also forgot Chris Hemsworth was part of this,
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I was excited.
and that this is him.
This is him.
That nose.
The vehicles in this movie look outstanding.
Wow.
Is that the
guy.
OG Morton Joe? I didn't realize that. Anya Taylor-Joy.
I got really hyped just seeing that credit. It's like, let's go. What
This
she
is
deserves.
insane. Look at these set pieces. Holy shit.
Damn. George
You can already
Miller, the man knows how to move the camera.
You can already tell the color saturations like in different areas look so cool.
Oh,
The
yeah.
pacing,
This is some of the best color grading.
the scale. Holy shit.
The darkest of angels.
Woo! That's cool. And, yeah, the way he uses shadow.
Excellent.
The question is,
The arm.
I forgot about that.
Woo!
have it in you to make it epic.
Epic.
Yep. Oh, and we're gonna have some bomb trailers in front of Aquaman.
I'm so excited. You're right. We're gonna have this.
You're still gonna get Argyle in the mix.
I'm like, no!
Like right after Furiosa, it's gonna be like Agent Argyle.
I wish I could pinpoint some of my favorite shots in this trailer, but just like seeing like the red of this shot right here going into the blue.
How did they all look like this? Like how did they all pop so well on the frame?
I don't know, man. George Miller's colors, the way he directs all this stuff. This is the bad guy from the first movie. I think Morton Joe, something like that.
It feels like an even more like poppy Zack Snyder style, you know, that graphic novel vibe.
Yeah. It feels so out of this world. Yeah. It's so weird. Yeah, people talk about the CGI. That's been like one of the big talking points, but I didn't even feel that at all throughout this movie. It just looks like a heightened version of what we saw in Mad Max. Yeah, and very close to it too.
Yeah, and even, you know, if there's more effects than usual, they know how to blend it with the practical effects that they have on set clearly.
Exactly. I mean, I'm excited to see Chris Hemsworth's role in this too. He was the biggest surprise from this trailer because he looks like he's putting in some great work as this villain, this antagonist. Who I think they talked about him. I think I left one of my bookmarks on about his character, but he was kind of like born of this like crazy world. He comes at it from a different perspective than Furiosa does. Yeah. There's an intensity, brutality to him, but he is birthed into a space where it's kill or be killed. He has learned to rule. He's violent, insane, brutal, and born from this wasteland. Brutal.
No Dune trailer this week.
Damn it.
Do we need another one?
Probably not. But we got some cool posters. But yeah, hopefully Aquaman gives us the Dune 2 trailer again. Just put it in front of Aquaman just so people remember, this is coming out.
Update the release date and bam.
Exactly. So yeah, Furiosa just looks incredible, just from the colors, the direction. I'm very excited to see what the story is. Again, it seems about her finding her way home, as basic as it sounds. But the first movie, 2015, is also very basic in terms of like him just trying to escape and help free the girls. Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited to see what her role is here. We know where she ends, right? She ends with this group. So I assume she kills... I don't know. She kills Chris Hemsworth and takes his position. Maybe that could be a good reversal. And then she never forgets how she just eventually has to escape with the people that she gets close to. Maybe it is the people she's running with somewhere in this trailer. But she's seen running with some other people, other women throughout the trailer. So I'm very excited to see what her odyssey is all about. But I think it has something to do with freedom, liberation, all that jazz. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the score is. The score already sounds incredible. Junkie XL, he's back. George Miller, he's back. It looks great. It looks great, Bob. So I'm excited. A lot of good stuff up ahead. But yeah, that's Furiosa. Let's talk about what's next, Bob. Where should we go from here? Let's go over some of the casting stuff before we dive into Monarch and -1 to close us out. Okay. So I think we were going to talk about this last week, but I think last week I want to get some of the stuff out of the way. We're huge Creed fans, and Michael B. Jordan confirmed they are doing a Creed 4, and this kind of surprised me because after Creed 3, the success of Creed 3, which is still one of the best movies of the year. I think I still have it in my top 20. It's phenomenal. And Amazon wanted to do like the anime. They wanted to do like maybe a series about his daughter. And I can't remember the third one. There was something else they were going to. I think the third one was consideration of a sequel here.
Don't they have a comic thing?
Comic. I think comic. That might be right. Yeah. All of which I'm super excited about. They were creating like this Creed universe, basically. And the way Creed 3 ended, spoiler alert for Creed 3. Did we do a commentary about Creed 3, by the way? We did Creed 1 and 2.
Not yet.
Okay. We should definitely do that in the future. But yeah, so in the climax of Creed 3, or in the beginning, actually, he retires. So it's one of the more shocking parts of Creed 3. He retires very early on. He gets back to the game to fight his friend turned enemy. What was his name?
Damien.
Damien. Love that name, Damien. But yeah, Jonathan Majors, great villain, great character. But he kind of says farewell after he defeats Damien. Damien gets thrown in jail. We thought we'd see him again, but probably not anymore.
Thrown in jail. He didn't go to jail.
He did go to jail, prison, one of those.
Well, yeah, he got out of jail. That wasn't the climax.
He went to jail in the climax.
No, he went
Did
to
he
the locker
not?
room. No, he went to the locker room, and they squashed their beef, and we were like, "That's cool." They forgave each other.
But he killed. Remember, he killed. Not killed, but he like beat up Drago, right, or something like that. He hired some people to beat up Drago, and that's why he was going to fight him. Like he did some shady shit towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, but it was all like secondhand stuff that like it wouldn't be on his hands. But
Okay.
I mean, we're not condoning it.
No,
It's also amazing that we got to a place where like, hey, Creed and Drago are like friends. That's fucking
that was
cool.
amazing, and then they had a whole great training sequence together. Yo, Creed 3 is fun.
These movies are great. The whole Rocky saga.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The sagas are fantastic. Really got to rewatch those. What's it called? So yeah, we ended off where he kind of retired. He defeated his best friend. His daughter wanted to be a part of the boxing. I thought she'd be part of the MMA. I thought that would be a cool twist, but probably not. But Creed 4 has been confirmed, and now I'm like, okay, we're in this era where he's retired. Is it too played out? Is it too tired for him to just come back into the ring as a new antagonist? So I got to put myself back in the ring,
That's
or are we
every Rocky
getting?
movie.
That's every Rocky movie, but I'm like, are we gonna do it again here? We could. It's an easy cop out.
It is so fucking funny. Like when by the time you get to Rocky 3, every entry's like, "Hey Rocky, you can't retire. I'm Did you pussy?" Like,
and then he's like, "Okay, fine."
It's like, no, I'm not gonna. But then it's like, oh, he's disrespecting my family. I gotta put a stop.
Yeah, when did he retire after Creed or Rocky 2? Right?
5.
Yeah,
but also he went broke by Rocky 5.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that was weird.
And then he opened the restaurant in 6.
So 3 and 4, he was still on just regular fighting.
Oh yeah, he was rich too. He was living it up.
He didn't spend his money wisely.
He had a robot in 5.
Oh,
it's like we went too far, didn't we?
Yeah. So yeah, you think Creed's gonna have a robot in this one? Creed 4?
It's about AI. Yes, box AI.
Oh no! It's the entity.
AI fight. It's real steel.
It's the entity. In Real Steel.
We keep saying we need to watch Real Steel on here.
We do. It's a fun movie. Throwback to the director of not throwback, but upcoming Deadpool 3, Sean Levy.
That should give you all the faith you need.
Yeah, Real Steel. Or we just watch that horrible Netflix movie with Ryan Reynolds.
I want to do the X-Men series, Evan.
Oh no,
it's not that much. In hindsight of what we have done, it's not as much.
I think honestly we should. That should be our, because every year we do a gauntlet of a commentary saga. This year we did a lot. We did like
3 of them.
We did 3 of them. Was Alien Predator this year?
Was Prey this year?
Prey was last year.
So no.
So our Alien Predator stuff. Yeah, because Carson was still there.
Right.
So yeah, so we were still doing that. This year we were finishing up the one with the cams, the horror franchise of the cameras.
Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity. We did that early this year.
How many was that? That was 7.
No way. There's 7 Paranormal Activities
with the new entry. It's 7 now. Yeah.
We did 7 of those. 1, 2, and 3.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Marked ones.
Wait, there's a 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 was the one with Ant-Man daughter.
Yeah.
Catherine Newton. 5 was marked ones.
We did Ghost Dimension. Was that?
Yeah, Ghost Dimension was 6.
Yeah, 4. 5, 6. Yeah, and then 7 was Next of Kin.
The cabin one, which was awful.
Yeah, we get such high hopes. We went in. We were like,
oh.
It ain't 6. Fuck.
Ghost Dimension was shit.
Mark One's was such a surprise. I was loving
March
it.
1 was a blast. That was so good.
That
That was
great.
one of my favorite commentaries I've ever done on this channel. We did 130. That was one of the best commentaries because it was so much fun.
But
so yeah.
we watched all the Saw films.
Saw film. That was a lot. We did
It was 9.
9.
Yeah.
I feel like we did something over the summer, but I don't know what it was.
Well, we did.
I think we did a lot.
But that was
Evil Dead. That was like 4 movies or 3. We didn't commentary the latest one yet, actually.
let me backtrack into the playlist. Let me look at the playlist real quick.
You do that. But I see that. But yeah, I think we should in the future do the X-Men movies in the lead up to Deadpool 3 because it's sounding like from all the rumors Deadpool 3 is going to be basically Deadpool kills the Fox universe, which we kind of gathered. But the more and more we hear about it, the more and more it's like, okay, he's definitely going to do all of that.
Do you want to toss Fantastic Four in there?
He'll probably kill them off too. I have no idea what the sense of the plot is, though, minus the TVA and the time of it all.
We did a handful of Indiana Jones, and we did all the Mission Impossibles.
That was a lot. We did all the Mission Impossibles. Wow, yeah, that was fun.
The 6 of those. We also, did the John Wick trilogy at the time.
Yes,
it's been a busy year.
It's been a busy year. Yeah, we did some pretty good stuff this year.
4 seasons of Rebels.
Yeah, in a way. Oh man, we watching those were so I don't know the word for it. Great. I feel like I just want to watch all of Rebels with you or all of Clone Wars with you. That'd be amazing.
All right, we're on the droids arc, baby.
Star Wars is going to be stacked next year, man. We're going to be busy on Hyperspace Hype with Bad Batch, Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Tales of the Jedi, Andor. Man, it's going to be phenomenal.
What do you mean we're on episode 200 already?
Fuck. But yeah, so that was Furiosa. That was Godzilla. Let's talk about some of the casting that we have here recently. So WB, we have Nicholas Hoult confirmed as Lex Luthor.
Right.
Which is a long time coming. This came from last week.
You knew this was coming, Pete.
You knew this was coming, Pete. But this is great for Nicholas Hoult. I think Nicholas Hoult is one of the most underrated performers of the last decade. With his work in like The Favorite, The Great, the X-Men trilogy, the X-Men movies, not even a trilogy.
Yeah. You got 4 of them.
There's 4 of them, quad. And then he was supposed to be the villain in Mission Impossible 7, Dead Reckoning Part 1. But it went to Isai Morales because there was some scheduling issues due to like COVID and everything. Everything got like pushed back and everything.
How do you think that would have went?
It would have been Macquarie has clarified that it would have been a different character because once he realized he couldn't have gotten Nicholas Hoult, they changed the character to having a past with Ethan. That's why Isai is more of like, I know you from the past, Ethan, given that flashback. Nicholas Hoult would have been too young. They wouldn't have had that dynamic.
Yeah.
So it would have been something more different. But the entity was still at play, of course. So, but we also got Nicholas Hoult as Lex, Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen, and Sarah Sampaio as Eve Techmacher. Teschmacher. I don't know how you say it.
The engineer is her hero name.
No, that was somebody else.
My bad.
That was another character.
It was Carson, actually.
But we do have a different character, you're right, playing the engineer, which is one of the villains, I think. I think he said the villain or hero. I don't know. But either way, yeah. So we know Superman Legacy is going to be a super crowded movie, and Lex isn't the main villain. We do know, rumors, right? Nothing's official, but rumored is that Brainiac, this is what you've been hearing too, Nathan, Brainiac is the villain.
Yeah.
Superman Legacy. Superman's been, they're basically doing what Matt Reeves has done. Superman has been Superman for about a year. So it's very early on in his career. And yeah, he's still working on the Daily Planet. I think he's working on the Daily Planet. I'm not sure. And so it's very early on, Clark Kent, very early on Superman. So he doesn't know a lot about his legacy or his past or a lot of the heroes of this new DC universe, gods and monsters. as James Gunn likes to call it.
He's
But
he's hanging out with Crypto, probably. I don't know.
Super Dog, that'd be great. That was a great show. It's Crypto, the Super Dog. But I like that Nicholas Hoult as Lex. Perfect casting. I think he's a great. He tried to be some of the hero. I think he was rumored to be in contention for Superman and Batman in the past. I think it was rumored for Matt Reeves' Batman before it went to Homeboy, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
And then
Boy in the Hair and star Robert Pattinson.
Oh, he's in that?
Yeah, you know it.
No, I don't listen to Dubcast.
Well, fine. I got the trailer for the dub in front of -1.
Oh, I did too. Jay and I were both like, oh.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I did not want to. I heard a lot, but I can't tell you because I was just scrolling through Twitter. I'm not watching anything. So I want to go in fresh as can be. I've seen some stuff, like some stills, but I haven't seen the official trailer yet for Boy in the Heron.
Remember the story headlines of just like, the first movie without any marketing before release.
I know, right? And now it's like, here's marketing, baby.
And also, I'm not retired.
Yeah, he's doing another one, which is great. I love Miyazaki. You just keep cooking until you can't anymore. But yeah, Nicholas Hoult is Lex, which is great. What I like is he's not going to be the main villain. I already said that, but they're going to have him grow throughout the movie. Hopefully, we get a good dynamic between him and Clark.
You think they'll be friends first?
That'd be fun. I wouldn't mind that. Lex wasn't in the Superman TV show from this year, Young Superman Adventures, whatever it was called.
A little bit.
Was he in there?
A little setup of this dude named Alex, who is very anti-Superman. He's like a scientist dude. He was helping out the one villain who like evolved his body into tech.
Oh, I didn't know Alex was set up for Lex.
Yeah, long red hair. He's definitely gonna lose it by the end.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, but I just hope he has a good connection with either Superman or Clark or some kind of like dynamic that allows that dynamic to grow, because this is gonna be pivotal to the DCU Gods and Monsters, whatever this first phase as a whole. That's one of the biggest dynamics in comic book history, or at least in the DC universe. That dynamic, that battle between Clark and Lex, which I don't think Snyder had time to build it. I liked Henry Cavill. I liked Jesse as Lex, but they didn't have time to breathe. So when we got to Batman versus Superman, their dynamic didn't feel as grand as it should be.
One of the big reasons I really want to go back and start watching Smallville is a lot of people praise the Clark and Lex dynamic in that, and like not just from the hero villain perspective, but because they were friends in the beginning of their relationship.
I hear so many fantastic things about Smallville. Smallville always looked so like shitty to me growing up.
CW baby.
It's like I would always see it on TV. But I would never like gravitate towards it because it seemed so low budget and uninteresting. I was like, Superman without being Superman, this seems so stupid. But I've always
it is funny how like 2000s the locations look in settings, but honestly, there's a charm to that for me now.
Yeah, so maybe we can probably commentary a couple episodes. I don't know.
There's like 10 seasons.
There's 10 seasons. Never mind. Hey, if you want to do fucking the MCU,
I'll do it. You want to just say, I do want to do it. Let's roll the dice. What are we doing today? Shit, we're watching every episode of Breaking Bad.
Oh, that, I don't know how fun of a commentary Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul would be.
It was like, oh, poor Jesse. Every 20.
Yeah, every episode is like, God damn, Walt is a horrible person.
Like after season 3, we're just like, I'm not having fun with Jesse anymore. Get him out of there.
But yeah, people like Skylar's casting as well as Jimmy. I think he looks just like one for one, just Jimmy Olsen. I know some things came out about the actor himself, but that's not for me. But performance-wise, he's a good actor, and I'm excited to see what his portrayal would be because he looks again just like the character. It's like pitch perfect casting. And then Sarah is Techmonger. She was in the OG Superman movie, Lex's assistant, right? So speaking about Lex, like, could there be, is she just going to be the assistant to Lex? Is she going to be the, assistant turned enemy of Lex? Or we can get some romance there between them. I like the romance angle. Not every adaptation does the romance angle between Techmucker and Lex, but it could be. I would like it. A good dichotomy between Clark and Lois versus Lex and Techmucker.
Mhm.
And then, of course, that was about it. Then you mentioned the engineer. Not much other casting for Superman lately, but just today, James Gunn had said in an interview that he is 99% done with the Superman Legacy script. So it's coming together, and it's supposed to be filming early next year. So probably
we're not getting it till 25.
It's like June, July 2025, which is 2 weeks before some other MCU movie. I forget what it is. Maybe it's Thunderbolts or something. I'm like,
no.
One of those MCU movies got to move because I don't know. Not gonna look good in front of Superman. But yeah, that's about it for that. And then let's go. Let's keep it on comic booky here. Let's keep it on. Let's go to the MCU real quick. There's some MCU rumors, but this one, I guess this counts as MCU rumors. Should I talk about this one? The Thor 5? Yeah, this is a short conversation. Let's do it.
20 minutes.
2 minutes later. I know. Let's keep it 5 minutes. But Thor 5 is rumored to be in production. Taika is not going to be attached, which I think I don't even think that's a rumor that Taika's not going to be attached. I think he flat out said, like, I think he's good with the character, and then MCU is looking for different directors.
He was on a podcast recently, and he had some words. Essentially, he was saying akin to, like, he didn't even really want to do a movie like Thor. He really
Love and Thunder or 3?
Both. He really wasn't even like that big into the character. He really only did it so that he could
feed his family, that kind of thing.
Family, which, on the one hand, I respect that. I think anybody can respect that angle.
That's more than half the people in Hollywood. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. But then on the other hand, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, fucking, like, after 2 Thor movies, I'm like, it does kind of suck that, like, you're not all about the thing you're making art about.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's burnout. Maybe it's Taika's kind of comedy. You wouldn't think that after hearing all of his interviews during the Thor Ragnarok press or even the Love and Thunder press, he loves the character. He had fun making it, at least from everything we've gotten about him, and like these movies so far. And people love the shit on Thor Ragnarok. I still think it's the best Thor movie. I love Thor Ragnarok. I think it's fantastic. Not my top 10 MCU movie, but I'll never forget watching that movie for the first time. It's still one of the best MCU movies, and it's a fun time. But yeah, I think MCU people in general, audiences, they want a new take on Thor. They want a new direction. Maybe even Chris Hemsworth as well. And there's a rumor that Gareth Edwards is being eyed to direct. Gareth Edwards from the recent box office bomb, The Creator.
Damn,
What did I say?
I went twice and I watched it.
You watched twice?
Yes, I watched it 1.8 times.
Oh yeah, because something happened to your projection, right?
I had to leave before the very, very final scene to catch a different screening or something, because that's just how my day was lined up for showings.
That's weird.
Yeah, what was I seeing?
That was
I'll check my Letterboxd library.
That was like September,
October for me.
October
For my second viewing, that is.
You left your first viewing.
No, I left my second viewing. That's why it's okay in my brain.
Okay, yeah, that's okay then. Yeah, you didn't miss much. Even though the ending is the best part about that.
Oh movie. Yeah, I was catching the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie.
You left that to catch a concert which you can watch online.
Well, it was in theaters with a crowd, a very fun crowd, I will add.
I'm sure it was.
I saw Hocus Pocus that day too in theaters. That was fun.
What a day!
Yeah, Hocus Pocus, the creator. Just like,
Getting all that content. But yeah, I'm hoping for a new direction for Thor 5 as well. People want that classic Kenneth Branagh look. They want that, you
I want
know,
it too.
mythological, not necessarily dark, because the MCU will never be dark. It will never be dark. People always say, I want a dark Thor. I want a grounded Thor. We're not getting that shit. Even the first Thor movie isn't necessarily grounded. We have that recollection that it is, but it's a basic early 2000s Thor movie, which has mythological tendencies when we get to Asgard and stuff. But all the Earth stuff is very basic MCU shit for Thor.
Yeah, it's well, yeah, I'll say, yeah, it's very like, haha joke here and there, but like it's not like as repetitious as the modern era is. It's not as like back to back. And I think that's all like a lot of people are really like would have a happy medium with if we just like dialed back the amount that we put on screen of humor and improv.
100%, because that's kind of what we got with Love and Thunder. And even though me and you, we appreciate Love and Thunder, but it's very much like it was a joke, where they don't have time. The emotional moments don't have time to like really hit.
Yeah.
They're not taking it as seriously as possible. We just want Thor to be taken seriously. Even with like Avengers Infinity War, which is his probably the most popular interpretation, where he's just like we see a man going through a lot of emotional and dark shit, and he goes through an era or arc of growth, which is very worthwhile by the end. I think we just want something as simple as that for the character, while making the mythology of Asgard and the 9 realms as serious as they need to be. Not just some weird people living in Norway. It's not great. The whole Norway stuff is not working for me. It needs to be more mythological. Just like the Guardians movies are so galactic based, they're so weird and crazy and space based. Like, it's weird, and we love it. Like, Thor movies need to be that, but in Asgard. That, like, but for the gods.
Yeah, because because they just kind of fell into the cosmic side of things again. Like blending all together. But like, and also with the Marvels now, the Skrulls are gonna be a part of Asgard. So,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Which we didn't talk about the scene with Tessa, which was a lovely scene.
Great scene.
Yeah, I want to go back to like I think we've evolved past like the hierarchy stuff, because we like, how many times can Thor be like, I don't want to rule? All right, I'll do it.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. We know he's ruling, but like,
well,
or maybe he's not.
Valkyrie is right now.
Valkyrie is ruling now, but it's like, I don't know. It's like I want a Thor film that takes the Valkyrie Thor dynamic seriously. I want something that's just not as quippy and fun. That works for Thor Ragnarok. I love that interpretation of the character, but you can also keep that and just put it in a different tone. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, there are great moments in the first couple Thor films where, like, after you have like your big battle scenes and stuff, like Thor will just go home and just, it's like you're sitting at the dinner table and you're just like, so you think things are gonna move forward all right? And it's like, only time will tell. Like,
we always say this, Nathan. We always say this in all of our podcast reviews. Characters just need to sit down and talk. One of the best scenes in Love and Thunder, they're just talking on that ship, right? They're on their way to Gore, and they're just talking.
Bar the like interjections of comedy, it's a great scene where like, they're just like, you're like, I feel shitty all the time, and
yes,
I know like we made each other feel shitty, but it's better than being shitty alone.
Yeah, exactly. And that scene's great, even towards the end during the death sequence. It's like they're just sitting in the middle with just water, and then it's just like an empty void. It's just sitting, 3 people just sitting there talking. It's like, this is what we need. Not just crazy, but even Love and Thunder was just like point A to point B to point A to point B to point A to point B. It was just like constant cosmic adventure. But it doesn't need to be super cosmic, right? It just needs to be super. Thor should have his own realm that's separate from the Marvels and the Guardian era, because the Marvels and Guardians are cosmic.
Yeah.
Thor doesn't really need to be that. It needs to be more, like we're saying, mythological, more like grounded in fantasy. We're not really delving into the fantasy aspect. And even though we did get some fantasy stuff with like all the gods in Love and Thunder, it was played for jokes. Like the whole area was played for. I didn't really grasp the idea of Olympus at all. It was just a weird place. Like we should be able to stay in that area for longer, just to dive into it a little bit more, especially with the plot that it seems to be Hercules is going after Thor. That's just even crazy to say in a sentence. Hercules versus Thor. That should be built up. That should be serious. That should be some Creed level shit. It shouldn't just be played for jokes. And that's what we're worried about. All that to say, Gareth Edwards as director, he's not my favorite director in the world. But like, if you want to get something like, you know, more serious and grounded, Gareth is as far as grounded and serious as he can get. That's his.
Yeah.
That's his.
Other than his direction, which is wonderful in terms of sense of scale, you know, when you think of like the top things that come to mind, whether it's Godzilla or Rogue One or The Creator, you know, that's usually we're on the first interpretation of these characters we're meeting. So we don't really have too much time to deeply attach ourselves to them because we also want to get to the spectacle shit, you know? We got to do the trench runs and the monster fights and all that. Luckily, Thor has had something like 8 movies of just progression that you can build off of, and I think, you know, probably the strongest character movie that Gareth has done has probably been Rogue One, and you know, with the advent of having something like Andor, I think even now we can pop back into Rogue One and feel even more attached to Cassian in this situation. So with already having so much pre-established stuff with Thor, I think he can bring some like true meaningful heart to a maybe final outing.
That's good. That's a good argument. Because you're right. I'm always worried when it comes to Gareth and his characters, because Rogue One, I don't think Rogue One has great characters, minus like, you know, Cassian. Like they're great characters, but I'm not really captivated by their journey as much, especially for new characters. But you make a great point that Thor isn't new. Some of the characters that we're going to be introduced or seen in a Thor 5, they won't be new. So Gareth can just come into it and add to it. Just add to what's already there. Add something that we've just been waiting for as fans of the character. Because I have a lot of friends on Twitter who read a lot of Thor comic books. I'm not one of them, but a lot of them read a lot of Thor. And it's like there's so many great stuff in the comics that just hasn't really been part of the MCU given Taika's tenure and just, you know, not having enough time. So yeah, I think that would be great. I think Gareth would be a fun addition to the franchise, someone, or at least a director like Gareth. But yeah, that's it for Thor 5. If it may happen, that's probably one of the ones that's probably in the back burner. Also, we got Michael Waldron writing King Dynasty. That's the thing, which is pretty big because last time we talked, we thought Kang lost his director in Dustin Daniel Cretton, director of Shang-Chi. He's moving forward with Shang-Chi 2 and Wonder Man. So he lost his director. The writer is supposed to be Jeff Loveness from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Director, writer, gone. Now we're back on the starting page. Completely fresh script coming from Michael Waldron, the creator of Loki, which is a fun take. I like what Waldron did with Loki season 1. Yeah. You know me, I love he helped bring Sylvie to life, and I always thank him for that because I think Sylvie's one of the best original characters the MCU has. He helped craft like this whole multiverse saga, basically, with all the multiverse elements of Loki season 1, Doctor Strange as well, right? And then Kang as well with Loki season 1. So I think he's a perfect fit for Avengers, whatever it's called, King Dynasty.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. I think the best stuff we've gotten from Kang has been from Loki. Obviously, I mean, it gets even more fleshed out with like a perspective shift when you watch season 2. But like that season 1 finale is phenomenal. The way he's writing the character, He Who Remains.
I agree. I think it's a very good get for Marvel. It makes sense. I think he's rising steadier within the MCU with a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, and then now with Avengers, Kang Dynasty. Oh, and he's doing Secret Wars.
Oh, okay,
Right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think he got both.
So now he's got both, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Keep the writing consistent. That's a big thing for franchises, especially part 1 and part 2. We saw what happened with like Star Wars, basically. It's like keep everything the same writer, or if they're not doing the same writer, keep it very consistent as best as you can. And they got the same writer for Michael Waldron, so at least we know King Dynasty and Secret Wars are going to be pretty consistent.
I wonder how it'll feel tackling a 2-parter on your own, because when it came to Infinity War and Endgame, it was a dual director and a dual writing team. So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure there's a writer's room, and I'm sure he'll get input. But that's a lot to write.
People said Eric Martin from Loki season 2, and he helped.
That would be great.
He helped with Loki season 1 as well. I think Eric came around towards the end of Loki season 1 to help with the writing. But either way, Eric, I hear people on Twitter saying Eric is probably also going to be in the room as well, which makes sense. Like we're saying, I don't think it's going to be a one-hand job, especially when you're in the MCU. It's never a one-person job. There's always a collaboration. That's what all the writers and directors always talk about with the MCU. That's it. Let's dive into some more kaiju craziness here. Quickly, let's talk about Monarch. There's not a lot of depth with Monarch so far, but I want to save all my great stuff for -1.
Do we know how many episodes Monarch is this season?
I don't know. I'm guessing the usual 8 to 10.
Okay.
Even though today on Twitter they released the trailer for the second half of the season.
They did. I didn't watch it.
And it's nothing. It's mostly recap from the first part and then a little bit of new scenes.
I know they're highlighting some Godzilla throwdown, and I don't want to watch it yet.
And Godzilla dies.
Who have I been watching?
Yeah, like, who is this guy? Who are you people?
Was this fun all along?
What's it gonna say? I forget what I was gonna say. Monarch. But yeah, Monarch. What's so interesting about this show is that I'm still putting together how I'm supposed to perceive Monarch as an entity, right? I think we talked about this last time, but Monarch was kind of perceived, for me at least, as like a weird antagonist thing, but also they don't seem super bad. I called them like Team Rocket, with the guy with the nerdy glasses who we see at the end of episode 4 here. He returns, he's back.
And we've only gotten this vibe in this show. All the movies has been like, it's like the shield of the universe.
Right? They're like the shield. So I'm like, okay, they're good now. But then episode 4, or episode 1 and 2, it's like trying to take down our 3 main heroes. I'm like, oh, so they're obviously not good, or at least they're sus. The dad's missing. The dad has 2 families, and he might be a part of Monarch, so double sus. It's definitely explaining what the dad was doing with 2 families. The dad has a lot of explaining to you when we see him.
Yeah. And then Kurt Russell is like breaking out of a facility that he's house arrested.
Exactly. Yeah. The last time we talked about it, episode 2. We're on episode 3 and 4 was the one.
3 and 4. 3 is the breakout and going on the run to
4
Alaska.
4 was Alaska. Okay. It feels like we've been in it way more than that, but
we've been through a lot of Godzilla stuff in the last week.
I guess so. Yeah, series just started though. But yeah, so you're right. But anyways, what's my with Monarch though is that like I don't know how to perceive them because they're trying to go after our heroes, but now by the end of episode 4, our heroes get saved by Monarch. Thank you, Kentaro, with the radio. Those dang pencil shavings.
Which is they confirm it by the end, but like as soon as I saw those like freshly on the ground, I'm like, oh, he's alive. He can't be that far away.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I assumed he was alive in episode 3, right? When they get to the plane and the dad's not there, or some dead pilot. not much is going on there, but the dad's missing. So the dad's definitely still alive because he has a lot of explaining to do. But overall, I'm kind of, like, we meet this new head of security or head of Monarch basically when they're trying to track down the kids and this new kaiju alerts that this random woman found in Utah or whatever. So I'm trying to piece together, like, they seem like cool people. And even the nerd guy, I don't even know his name right now, but the nerd guy was like, when have we pledged our lives to find these ancient aliens and do what needs to be done. We shouldn't go away from that or whatever. So I don't know. I think episode 5 is going to give us a lot of answers because our heroes have now been saved by Monarch.
Yeah.
We're going to get another conversation between them and Monarch. Probably some interrogation scenes, I could probably assume.
I'm sure it's gonna boil down to like back and forth of just, like, what are you doing? Like, we're trying to do the right thing. That's what we're trying to do. And then someone's gonna pop up and just like, hey, my dad wrote something about that. Oh, he did? Well, what do you got? Well, it was this. Oh my god, this changes everything. Yeah, new team, let's go.
Nathan, you cracked it.
I cracked the next 2 episodes.
I think you're 100% right, which is basic TV writing, right? Whereas, like, from what Monarch that we know, they're solid guys. They probably got, like, they're not trying to kill the kid. They just want the information from the what the dad got.
Yeah,
and the kids don't trust Monarch because they don't know Monarch, so of course they don't trust them.
And it's like the thing where, isn't it the thing where like the kids are holding on to it because it's like their puzzle piece to finding their dad?
Exactly. That's basically why they didn't want to give it up. And Monarch's like, "Can you just please give it up?" And they're like, "No," and they ran away, and that's kind of it. So you're right. So I think we're gonna get some interrogation sequences. They'll be like, "What are you really up to?" I'm trying for my dad. I'm trying to uncover what really went on. And Monarch's gonna be like, "Well, we don't know what's really going on." It's going to be like, they're going to argue, and then they're going to come across something the dad did or found, and then it's going to have them come across a bigger kaiju anomaly or event. And then, like we're both saying, they're going to eventually work together, which makes sense. So I'm excited to see that. But yeah, we're learning a lot more about Monarch. Their boss is in play. They seem to have a lot of more facilities than initially expected, which is very cool. Otherwise, I'm digging the human characters. For me personally, I'm liking what's in the past a bit more than the present.
Yeah, which we didn't get any in episode 4.
We did not get any in episode 4. We kind of were stuck with our main heroes, but at least we got some great characterization between Kentaro and Mei, their relationship, their past, diving a little bit more into what drives Kentaro as a character. He's kind of a character who has his passion in art. Kay, the sister, she said, "What are you, some kind of computer engineer, analyst, or whatever?" He's like, "No. If you get to know me, like as we see here, he's an artist, but he's the type of artist that doesn't want to show off his work. He ditches his own first day opening just to have sex with Mei, which I get, but also weird." What? But
Mei has been interesting for me watching.
Yeah, what do you think?
I feel like every time we start a dialogue with her, she's instigating something. Evan, I was watching the flashback, and he's taking a picture of his flyer, and she passed by in front of him. It's like, "Did you take a picture of me?" Yo.
Kentaro is too nice. Because granted, I think Kentaro looked at her and she was like, "Man, she's hot, so I'm not going to go off on her." But also, you stepped in front of me, right? Like, first of all, I'm sorry, but don't get an attitude with me because I accidentally took your. I'm sitting here. You come across my frame, and then you're mad at me. I'll delete it, sure, but also come around, obviously, or just wait. Come on, you can't be in your own world here. Stop it.
And she tears him down like every other sentence in the
other sentence.
Hey, I guess some shit's about to happen, but like, fuck, man, it's like he didn't push you in the fucking water, shit.
Yeah. But it's also interesting because we say that, but it also there's like this underlying warmth, even though this is a freezing episode of Monarch. There's an underlying sense of warmth between them. Like when he wants to separate, and she's like, "I don't think we should separate. Like, you just follow us." All that kind of stuff. Like, it's very interesting. There is a connection between them. That's very interesting. I don't know if they're going to continue being in a romantic relationship, maybe. But I like how Kentaro and May are like how they're being contextualized, but also May and Kay. Is her name? No, who's the daughter? What's her name? I forget her name. But
I'm bad with names. That's just
it's gonna bug me. But yeah, but the daughter, she's getting closer with May as well. Given that she was there the whole time trying to save her, keep her warm. So by the end of the episode, they seem to have a stronger bond as well. So I like seeing the growth of these bonds between the characters in the present. But again, I think the most interesting stuff is what's going on in the past with Wyatt Russell and with Billy. I think his name is Billy, and the mom's name is Kay. That's who it is, Kay, in the past, who eventually dies, of course. But like, I like seeing that, especially in episode 3, where we got some of the more backstory between them and the origins of Monarch. Another thing, a little inconsistency and confusion. They say the origins of Monarch, and I mentioned this last week, or not last week. Yeah, I mentioned last week to Jalen, when we were watching this, and I'm like, they say the origins of Monarch was in the 1940s. Even Kurt Russell mentions like, or somebody asked Kurt Russell, when did it start? He's like, oh, 40s, whatever. But we're only been introduced to the 50s with Kay and Wyatt Russell, and which is Lee, and Bill. I'm like, just starting the 50s, to starting the 40s.
I think it's probably just a thing of like small beginnings of individual people, and then after the big event, it's like, all right, we're gonna fund this from this point.
After they came together, it was slightly confusing, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just contextual stuff. But even so, in the past, I'm liking what's going on here between Bill and Billy and Lee and Kay. Billy has like this upright attitude about doing things the right way, and Lee's kind of like, we need backing, so we're gonna have to like kiss ass with the government here to get what we want, and then combine that with Kay, who's coming at it from a practical standpoint. She understands what they need to do with the government and all. She just doesn't like what the government's doing, because their main goal in episode 3 is to get some kind of proof of what they need to see here. Basically, proof of kaiju, right? Yeah,
not just proof. They want to kill it, whatever it may be. It just happens to be Godzilla here.
The government does, yeah.
Which I found to be an interesting sequence.
So this is the same sequence that we saw in the credits of 2014.
Yes, and it's also the scene that Ken Watanabe breaks down in 2014's Godzilla about how the government said they were performing nuclear tests, but they weren't tests. They were trying to kill whatever it was, which was Gojira. But when Ken tells the story, it's amazing. But yeah, it's the same scene in Bikini Atoll, I think the location's called, which is actually where Godzilla gets mutated in -1, which is cool. But yeah, here, essentially they needed a bunch of plutonium, but they brought it in the form of a bomb, and that entices Godzilla to come get a snack, essentially. And then it blows up in his face, literally. And I'm sure Godzilla didn't attack the beach, but he was just like, fuck y'all.
I thought we'll see a longer sequence of him getting attacked and then just being like, no damage. But he kind of disappeared. He was like, oh, damn, okay, I'll see how it is. But we'll probably get a longer sequence in next week's episode, probably, about what happened afterwards.
I did like seeing the emotion of Kay wanting to stop the explosion, because
that's what I like as well. Yeah.
You know, if this is the only creature and, you know, it's just gone, then we can't fix it, which is funny. I don't have that qualm in -1.
But it's an interesting aspect of her character, because I think it leads to a very cool and interesting dichotomy between the past and the present, which I think is one of the best aspects of this show. When we see a character like Kay, who's very much wanting to do what's right for like the monsters and for the experience, for the educational purposes, but then she's with Bill, who at the time is more just like, you got to go through the practical way. We need funding. But he also understands where Kay's coming from, because I think he might have I don't know if he has a crush on her, but there seems to be some, I don't know what's going on. Even though she eventually gets with Bill. It's a weird triangle they have going on there. But I'm interested to see how Bill is going to progress now that he's back at Monarch in the present. in next week's episode. Like, I wonder if the show is going to be, how do I phrase it? I wonder if the show is going to be showcasing a shift in the way that Bill has been acting in the present and then how he was in the past. I think, what's the point of showing us the past and the present outside of like historical or contextual reasons, besides seeing a shift in the Russell's characters and Wyatt and Kurt?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if they've progressed as, you know, their main mission, why they want to do this kind of thing. So I'm interested to see that as well. But yeah, overall, I've been liking the show. I like the human characters. As I said, I like the trio in the past a bit more than trio in the present. But the trio in the present did some great stuff this week with the shifts between May and Kentaro. I like that kind of stuff. And also the creature design. The creature for this ice from Alaska is phenomenal. I really like it. It's kind of like this mole-like creature with with the just suck. It just drains your energy, makes you freeze to death. It's really, really cool.
Feeds on flames and expels frost.
Yeah, it's so cool. Very cool. It's one of the best aspects of this show, where we get the great human characters, but also some very unique titans that are just very weird, and humans have to contend with what are its abilities, what are its weaknesses, and trying to work around that while just trying to survive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm having a fun time with the show so far.
Yeah, I'm not adding it too much more to that.
Yeah.
Pretty much covered bases.
Yeah, good show. Let's gush. It's time for -1. Play the theme, Nathan.
Bum, 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 bum.
-1, Nathan. One of the biggest surprises. I shouldn't say surprise, because I've heard all this praise for it. It's kind of hard to ignore.
I was worried if I had too much hyperbole sending it in chat, because you're like, don't tell me too much. And I fucking wrote, I will be praising this film for years.
I've played this year for years to come. But holy shit.
I'll tell you what is amazing.
Yeah.
Other people also picking up on it in chat, because I guarantee me sending my praise is just like, Nathan with his fucking giant monster bullshit. But then Christian sees it and adores it. Trey saw it today, 5 stars. I saw
Trey gave it 5 stars?
He gave it 5 stars.
Oh.
I was waiting for your letterbox entry, because I was like, what did he give it? Did he give it 4, 4.5?
4.5.
5! Let's go.
Dude, when a movie makes me cry, instant 5 stars. Instant 5
Me too.
Stars. I don't tear up. You tear about everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, like 25 stars. No. But, I adored this movie. Holy shit. Full spoilers for -1.
Let me write it. Hold on.
Please
Let me entrust the audience with.
Please do. Because I want to talk about the ending real quick. Because I think what went on here in this movie, the arc that the characters have gone on, has been spectacular. So if you have not seen -1, please see it as soon as possible. I wasn't able to see it in IMAX. I think Nathan did.
I got Dolby.
You got Dolby. It's still great. Fantastic. But yeah, what was I going to say? This ending. Well, first of all, the scene, the Ginza sequence, everything in Ginza in this movie, you know, the scene where everything that starts with Godzilla's first major attack on the ground. With the wife, as soon as he says Ginza, I was like, if she dies, I'm losing it. This movie's getting a 1 star. No, I'm kidding. I was so compelled by Koichi's arc here. I'm like, well, his guilt, his trauma. I'm like, don't let her die. And then when she's like surviving, she's in the train on the bar. I was like, what is Uncharted? It was wild.
I was like, am I dead reckoning again? Like, I was expecting somebody in chat to be like, oh, but does it have a cool ending train sequence? And I'm gonna be like, yes.
Yes, it does. And it's in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, suck it, Tom. No.
But then she survives, and then Koichi grabs her. It's like, we gotta go. I'm like, let's go. And then the atomic breath sequence.
Oh, all right. So I tweeted about this that like
Fuck me.
because I watched these movies, I watched it back to back, and it's funny because I got out of the first one, I'm like, can I do it? that was emotional. Can I do it? But just a quick, I'm like, I want to do it. The atomic breath unveil, which I had been avoiding from the marketing.
Me too.
So I didn't really catch initially that like not only do like the dorsal spines pop out when they begin to glow, but they shoot back in when he blasts, which is wild. The atomic breath not only fires, but on impact creates a full nuclear explosion.
Which was so...
And also...
so many layers to that, right?
And also detail I picked up, it seems every time Godzilla does use his atomic breath, it chars his face a bit.
Yeah, he had some physical scarring afterwards, which, by the way, his design is impeccable. Mm-hmm. He feels very damaged. He feels very... I don't know how to describe it. Mutated, yeah, that's the word for it.
But it also has a healing factor in this.
Which was gnarly.
Which threw me for a loop.
I can't tell which one I like better. But I think Shin and this one are just both 5 out of 5 designs. Because I think Shin's mutation was so unique and unexpected. Mm-hmm. But this one, the way it just like regeneration and the scars, because this movie is all about the scars of the past, and for that to be reflected on Godzilla's physicality as well was very genius. Yeah. But yeah, the atomic breath sequence, when that happened, and it looked like an atomic bomb in a movie set only 3 or 4 years prior or after that.
Yeah.
Wow. The amount of like trauma that just reflects in the movie itself is just...
Yeah. And I can only imagine how terrifying the people witnessing a third nuclear explosion on their land. Like on a whim of this monster's blast is insane. And what I was saying earlier is that like the first time I watched it, I was in awe of just like the design and detail and aspect of how they achieved this atomic breath. And then on my second viewing, I started to well up because I know what's about to happen with the characters, and it was painful to know because I cared so much about these characters.
When I tell you now, the most painful moment of 2023 for me was, everybody knows Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, a certain thing happens. That was painful beyond belief. This movie, in the span of 1 hour, made me care so much about Koichi and his girlfriend, his wife, basically, pseudo wife. Mm-hmm. That in the hours prior, she was like, "I want you just to live." And then he wakes up. He was like, "Maybe I can live again." And I'm like, "Okay, this is great, but what's gonna happen here? We're only like an hour."
Right on the radio is like, in town.
Specimen has reached Ginza. He's like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Oh no, never. This isn't gonna happen." And then when she survived the train, I was like, "Thank God." I was so scared. I thought
we're in the clear.
I think we're in the clear here. But then because I said the atomic bomb or atomic breath, it happens, blasted all away, which is also that does all the damage. But then it sucks everything back in as well. Like there's so many layers to the attack, like you said. But during the initial blast, if she pushes Koichi out the way, and I'm sitting here, my mouth has not dropped that large in years. I was just like, tears.
Editor, pull up the thumbnail for Exorcist 3 jump scare.
Hey, that was different.
I updated the thumbnail, and it's hilarious.
Oh no!
It's just more emphasis on you.
Oh, thank you.
It's amazing.
But yeah, when she pushed him out the way and she got blasted away, I couldn't stop thinking about it throughout the entire movie. I couldn't stop thinking about it because it hurt me that much.
It was terrifying, the thought that like after Koichi walks out of the alleyway, you can't see anybody.
Nobody. It's a dead zone. It's just pure death and devastation. And it was, yeah.
And fuck, man, the progression of the ending of that scene where he collapses and then like soot rains from the sky and Godzilla just roars.
He roars back basically in sadness, and then it transforms to like anger,
pain.
fantastic acting there. That was that's one of the best
Amazing.
acting moments I've seen all year, where he's so sad, but then transforms to anger, and you see this vengeance just building up inside of him that persists throughout the movie.
And keeping in mind that this is the second time Godzilla has traumatically impacted this man's life.
Oh, big time. First of all, in the beginning, they're like, hey, shoot Godzilla for us. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. I'm not trying to die for y'all. Oh my gosh.
Oh, 20 millimeter gun can take down anything. Ah.
That angered me so much. Where I'm like,
Now, granted, it's a pre-mutated Godzilla, which
yeah,
this is an interesting design.
Yeah, it felt more like a just a prehistoric monster in this case.
Yeah, and they keep describing as a dinosaur creature, which I was so surprised. Like, hey, take the light on the beach.
Boom! I was like,
shit.
We're here already. Yeah.
Oh fuck! And he's smaller.
But yeah, they're like, hey, shoot it. Go to the plane. I would have gone on the plane. I thought he was supposed to be like, okay, just fly off. But
yeah, or at least like get some aerial distance to.
Yeah, but he just stood there. But yeah, instantly we know like kind of Koichi's character about like being afraid to die. But it's for me, as the movie persisted, it's much more than being afraid to die. He also, as he said, his family said, "Come back alive." And that one line adds a lot because he always continued to look at the funeral sticks from his dead parents, and he wants family, he wants that connection, and that's probably the main reason why he didn't want to die. It also because of the fact that nobody just wants to die. People want to live, obviously.
Which one of my favorite things is like during one of the final speeches from the scientist character who I love.
Doc's great.
Yeah, and how he was breaking down, just like it doesn't seem like the government has valued us as well as they should, like sending not only these different aspects of war, but also like kamikaze suicide pilots. Like that's not right.
Dying for honor. I think that added such a great textual element to the movie. Especially Koichi's character, yeah, somebody who just doesn't want to die, but is witnessing Godzilla, who is this entity of death and destruction, and him being able to face that in the end of the movie, it's like he's facing his own nightmares, literally, because he's having nightmares about that attack. But yeah, the whole beginning part was just hilarious to me because I'm just like, I'm not going. I ain't gonna do that. And then they start shooting him like, oh, you guys are gone. And that first sequence, I'm like, this is the kind of movie that you're in for. It was just like pure horror because the way they shot it at night and you can't really see the full scale of his body. You just see people getting chomped up, flung across the mountaintops. Yeah, it was just startling,
terrifying.
But yeah, I thought it was just fantastic. But yeah, real quick, I just want to say about the ending where realizing that his wife was alive shot this movie up to infinity and beyond for me. Because I think honestly, and I can say this now because it didn't happen, but if she was to remain dead, probably a 4.5 movie. I'm like that, guys. I want my characters to be happy. I want my characters. That's all I fucking ask for. And thank God for Asian cinema for giving me what I want. I'm tired of these self-sacrificial bullshit. And granted, it wasn't bullshit what she did to him. It was very respectable, and because she really felt for this character. She really felt for him and wanted him to live, wanted him to dream again. And instead of having nightmares and pain. So I respected it. I didn't hate it. I was just really hurt by it. Yeah. But what I'm just trying to say is that like he gets his happy ending. He gets his happily ever after. And that's all I want for my movies. While then the best final line of the year, one of the best. I love Oppenheimer's final line as well. But this final line, is your war over yet? You don't have the right to have that perfect of a final line. No way. That's impossible. That is one of the best final lines I've ever heard. It encapsulates the movie so well. It's so endearing. It's heartbreaking. Oh my God. Oh my God, what a final line. What a line. Because their relationship, it's the heart of the movie. I cared so much about them. And there was one sequence in the movie where they played like this happy montage of them just going to work with the child, eating dinner together, chilling with the work colleagues. I'm just like, this movie
Yeah,
is incredible.
the boat crew is
The boat crew is so good.
great. I love all of them, especially the older sea guy.
The
He's-
captain, the doc,
Yeah.
the kid. Yeah, they were so great. Fantastic, like ancillary characters. It just meant so much to the movie. No weird podcast.
right.
No weird
Don't have
jokes.
that technology yet.
Yeah.
Maybe every modern blockbuster should be a period piece. Then we'll be all right.
Honestly,
Imagine improv jokes in Captain America: The First Avenger. I can't.
not a lot.
I love everything. But the when they got to the point of like, well, all right, so we got like this very high level prototype plane, but we need like a mechanic who can, bring it to life. And he's like, I know just the person, the one who hates me.
Yeah, someone sent him mail of him.
Which was this is amazing. Like his plan was not just to like find contacts of like where he could send letters. He sends multiple letters, and they're all hate mail.
Yeah,
It's revealed. Just like the island massacre was your fault. It's like, oh fuck.
just give him angry enough that he'll come find him. It's pretty genius.
It's a pretty ballsy move.
Yeah, he just killed Koichi if he wanted to, but he's that kind of character. Yeah.
A great moment when like he breaks down the plan, and like when Mechanic starts to listen, he's like laying in the doorway all disheveled. He's like, the war isn't over for you either.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, shit.
So good. The war is still scarring both of them.
Now tell me, Evan,
Yes.
when he's showing him the cockpit and he's breaking down, all right, so yeah, you're ready. And
You knew, right?
I was like, he can't die, right? Like he had to have installed some ejector seat, right? And it's for me,
It was a bit too obvious, or what?
Well, no, this didn't turn out to be the case, but
Oh,
I thought when he was like, "Hey, pull the safety right before you fly in," I was like, "That's the ejector." Like it's got to be. It wasn't. It's a separate thing that they unveil later.
yeah.
And that's what worried me for like a brief second during the finale, because he pulled it and nothing happened. I was like, don't do this. Don't do this. Especially because they had the scene where he says goodbye to Akiko, adorable little child, who
Fantastic.
bawls when her mother's gone multiple times, and then he's about to go die the next day, but he also promises that same night, like, I'm not going to leave you.
Mm-hmm.
Which we know, I genuinely meant that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. By that point, he had not been shown that there's an ejector seat yet. That's why he left the memo and the money.
He was shocked. He was shocked when the mechanic came to like, because I thought it was pretty obvious when the mechanic was like, "Hey, there's something back here." Then the scene transitions, like they cut away. I'm like, oh, so it's definitely gonna be a good thing. Because I'm like, there's no way this movie ends with him sacrificing his life. That makes no sense. He has a family. He's gonna be there for his family. He has
because if the arc was like, no, he does fulfill his suicide.
He does need to die. Like, wait, what?
This isn't honor at all.
Yeah, not great, Bob.
Tell me, I'm getting more character fulfillment out of the Wolverine.
But he's able to face his fears, live another day with Akiko, and gets the happy ever after with I think it's Nariko now, but yeah. But the wife, which is, I'm like, thank God. I was just so happy, so happy. But yeah, Akiko's whole arc about guilt, living past that trauma from the war, having those consistent nightmares. I'm like, I just felt so attached to this character so quickly. It made me care about what was going on with him and with the Godzilla attacks as well. Like I was caring on so many levels. And yeah, this movie just it rocked my world.
Real quick, let's talk about how they were able to defeat Godzilla.
Oh yeah, so unique. And this is one of the more interesting parts because, with every movie I've been asking, like, how are they going to defeat this thing? It's become kind of an interesting trademark comparing this from 54 to Shin to now, where 54 we had the classic oxygen. Shin, we have something different. The people who haven't watched Shin yet won't say, but Shin had a different defeat technique. And And then this one is very interesting. Yeah, let's break it down here. Where very much using the power of pressure, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah. Accelerating the bubbles, which apparently is a real life thing that the people drown from, which is terrifying. It would cause Godzilla to sink down to the ocean.
It would drown from like pressure, you're saying, or what?
Yeah, from like the multitude of bubbles in water. Like those settings where like there'll be people like swimming in like foamy waves.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so their plan here is to, through that method, push Godzilla down to the ocean floor.
Yeah, like 1,500 feet, they said. Yeah.
Yeah, and
meters.
if that pressure doesn't kill him, then the plan B backup is to immediately inflate tubes around him to shoot him back up through even more crushing pressure of the ocean.
It's wild.
And they almost get there through plan B, but then around 800 meters he stops because he tore them off. So he's just stagnant in the water down there.
Yeah, he tore the levitation devices off. He was stagnant in the water, and he probably can do a lot of damage from down there.
And as it was going down, was the rope is still wrapped around Godzilla, so their only plan is for the two ships to pull across so that they can pull them up, but they don't have enough power for the ships. They even established that before going in the field. They wouldn't have enough power, but they're desperate. It's all they got. We got to try. And then the kid
comes back. Now, this is a sequence that I love in movies. And sometimes it works, like with this movie. Sometimes you get Rise of Skywalker, where it's like, hey, nostalgia bait. But
there's more of us.
There's more of us. It's so hollow. But the kid returns, and it's so euphoric because he wanted to participate so badly. And I like the kid's character in the movie, a person who didn't witness the war, who doesn't have the scars of war. He's one of the only ones, but then still wants to help. He wants to help rebuild. He wants to help persevere. And him coming in with the other boat captains was a great sequence. So great. And then he managed to push him out of the water. I wanted to make a quick statement here. One of my favorite anime, top 10 anime of all time, called Made in Abyss. This concept is a very big, prevalent part where these two adventurers want to go deeper into the earth, basically, and they have to go basically level by level. The deeper you go, the deeper the pressure is, and it physically hurts you. It physically changes you. And if you rise from a deeper level, you die instantly. You can't rise fast. If you rise fast, you're dead. And whenever they're trying to defeat somebody, they make them rise and they instantly like crush them. And it kind of reminded me of this movie. I'm like, they're basically doing the same thing where it's like pressurize him. If it doesn't work, bring him back up. I was like, it felt such an anime technique. I wonder if you've watched that before. But it's also very much water physics in general. If you bring somebody down to water instantly, they're going to die. Anything will die down there. And it was just such an interesting maneuver they were all doing because it was a lot of effort because all the ships had to they had to cross, they had to attach the bubbles around him. I didn't know how it was going to work or be portrayed, but I loved the way the whole set piece was shaped up to be.
And I love how they were able to initiate a decoy ship for Godzilla to waste a blast on so that while he was recharging, enact the plan. And then when they finally got him up, you see through the segments of him rising that his skin is molting and deteriorating to the point that when he becomes above surface, he's like, you see like exposed bone. His eyes are bulged out.
Yeah, and he's also he's scarred. He's a little bit disfigured. It was very
saturated.
I can tell that was a lot of ice, right? It kind of frozen a little bit.
I think it was just the decay of the skin.
Okay, yeah.
Because also when he goes to charge up his atomic blast again, you can see the light through his skin throughout his body that you're not usually supposed to see.
Oh, great point. Yeah, great point. Which also, what a wonderful sequence where he's recharging. They did all they could, and he's charging up, and music cuts out. I'm just like, I thought we were about to lose Doc, dude. I was so nervous. I was like, if Doc and the captain die, people take off their hat. They're basically giving up. I'm like, and then the score, and then it shuts off, and then Koichi comes swooping. I'm like, let's go! So
Not like
great.
this.
Not like this. They're like, what's he doing? What's he doing? Because the best part about these characters too is that they wanted him to live. They wanted him to be happy with her. They're like, why didn't you marry her, you idiot? He's like, I feel like I didn't deserve to.
Yeah.
I didn't deserve to live, so I didn't deserve to have her either, even though he really wanted to. So good, so
I was
great.
like, if you orphan Akiko, I swear I'll
Yeah,
kill you. He's not answering. Shit.
They're like, no. But then they spotted him. They did the device. It was also great. Just put it in his mouth. It was just like it was very quick and terrifying sequence. It was just very startling to watch.
Also, I made sure to pay attention on my second watch. Blink and you miss it. Just a few frames, you do see him eject from the plane.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. Because I figured me and Jalen both were like, oh, it's a ejection device. He's definitely going to escape there. So I saw. I was looking out for it. I was like, okay, good. Because again, raise your hand if you think who's going to die. Probably not. But like, I was excited. I was really interested to see how it was going to transpire, and it worked like a miracle. But yeah, dude. So this score, fucking tastic.
I binged the album last night while I was drawing.
Oh, sweet. I need to listen to it. I need some more Star Wars albums because I'm listening to the same music. I can't be listening to the same music while reading Star Wars book. I might have to listen to -1. So how's the album overall?
It's good. A lot of ominous, ominous tones that were in the trailer. That's big impact. There's a lot of like low guttural sounding tracks as well. To instill like the fear of like I think the depths of the ocean and such. But they have the iconic Godzilla suite. They have 3 of them. 3 different versions. I know one was with the first atomic breath. The second one was during the final boat, and the third one is during the credits, which was a great one. Final scene, final clip. We do go back to the ocean, and a piece of God's because he crumbled into like the whole body crumbled, but a little piece of him is growing back.
So real quick, they do we know what kind of bomb Koichi put in it? But either way, it was some kind of like major bomb. It kind of like crumbled him. And it was weird.
I think they instilled the mechanics that he instilled at least like 2 high-powered bombs within the nose of the plane. So I think Godzilla was already damaged from the water depths, and this one cemented it. Like it not only blew off his head, but like he was already starting to crack and crumble, and the atomic was.
Oh, you're right. So I remember now. Yeah.
All the things coming together.
It was like pieces of the atomic breath were jutting out of his body, and that allowed him.
Luckily, they dissipated.
Yeah, true. It just crumbled. That was a startling sight. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So we continue on. Yeah, they had you see a piece of him in the depths.
A piece of him is starting to like grow back. It's mutating into like a larger form, and then it cuts to the title.
Son of Godzilla sequel -2.
My shit! Fuck! What do we do?
It's Akiko as the main character now.
Oh,
that actually be pretty badass. But no, we'll only see a sequel. But
the year's 1980.
Akiko set during the Cold War part. Even though this was also set during the Cold War because
they did do that with Godzilla when they came back with him in 1985.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Visually, just was astounding. The score was unbelievable. Because it's all about placement too. And the placement of it was really cool. You either get it during the terrifying one of the best sequences of the year in Ginza. The entire sequence is just terrifying because of that score. But also, you feel a completely different way when it's used again in the third act when all the ships are going out on their mission. You hear it as soon as they jet off. It's like dun 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 right when they try to save the day. So saving the day and utter destruction, same score, but it's used perfectly. I thought that was very cool. And yeah, the score overall was fantastic. Visually, phenomenal. Just I think you mentioned it. Godzilla's physicality, just seeing the way it changes over time, was very cool.
15 million budget.
Yeah, 15 million budget, which people have talked about. It's not 1-to-1 because of Japanese labor laws, not great. And they didn't have to get 2 actors or major actors here. Even though I immediately looked up the letterbox of both of the main actors. You mentioned already he performed Kiyotaka in Your Name, which is
Yeah.
one of the best movies of all time, top 5. And it's crazy how Arrival and Your Name came out in the same year in my top 5 movies of all time.
Look at that.
But then she was also in a lot of movies. She's only 23, by the way. I was looking up like this whole cast. I fell in love with this cast immediately.
Wow.
By the way, I looked up the YouTube interviews for all those cast members. I looked up her. One random interview. It was like 2 a.m. I click on it. Guess what the first comment is, dude? And this is why I hate YouTube.
Oh,
No. It was bad. It's a bad comment. But it's this one idiot's like, this is the kind of actress I like, unlike Rachel Zegler and Brie Larson. In a random Godzilla comment. I'm like, are we serious right now?
Come on.
It was so weird. I'm like, this is YouTube in a nutshell. It's horrible. Don't read the comments, guys. But I was like, really, I was like 2:30 a.m. I'm like, wow, what are the odds?
Every time I'm on like fucking YouTube Shorts and like I get like a little like George Lucas interview thing or like some snippet from like the original trilogy or prequels, I always like check the comments to be like, is this creator harding any anti-Disney shit? Because I don't want to support this video if they do.
Yeah, you always gotta be careful about that. But yeah, especially for Star Wars. But yeah, I was like, oh, the two hottest, like in terms of popularity, women this fall, Brie Larson and Rachel Zegler, of course, can get hate for no reason. Go watch the Marvels, everybody. Go watch Hunger Games, everybody. Anyways, yeah, I was watching all the interviews because I was like, these actors were just fantastic. Apparently, she was in this one thing called something Shin Rider, which I heard was really fun from earlier this year in Japan. But she also has a lot of anime. Both of them had a lot of anime backgrounds.
Shin Kamen Rider.
Shin Kamen, yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, a lot of my friends said this is a really good movie. It had really high reviews, so I might have to watch it before the end of the year. But yeah, the actors across the board were fantastic. I just love this arc is one of the most transformative, heartwarming, heartbreaking arcs of the year for me. I was just immediately gravitated toward Yuichi's guilt, but just like I connected in a way where it's just like I understand what he's going through, but I feel so bad. I feel so connected, and I want him to like grow from like what he perceives as failure. Because from my perspective, I was like, you didn't do anything wrong. You wanted to survive. You wanted to live, but he got like his idea punished for that. And what he's talking about with like, the scars and the demons and they keep telling me the ghosts keep watching me and punishing me. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then like you mentioned, that whole scream in Ginza. Oh, there's so many great scenes of the year in this movie alone. I can't stop thinking about it, man. I can't. I want to watch this movie so badly, but I also want to watch other movies so badly. So it's a conundrum. I love this movie. Where is this ranked in terms of your appreciation? Can I guess?
Yeah, okay, I looked up yours. But yeah, yes.
Wait, did I see yours?
I don't think so. I don't think you've seen my updated with where Godzilla is on my year.
No. Okay. I was like, somebody posted there. So maybe it wasn't Nathan. Is yours number? I think Across the Spider-Verse is still a 1. 2? Is it 2 now?
Which one are you guessing is 2?
Godzilla.
Oh, how does he do it, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh wow!
Every time, you know me.
That's good. I was like, it could be number 1, but you bleed Spider-Man.
I was on the fence.
You bleed Spider-Man from the right, you bleed Kaiju from the left. So I didn't know.
Yeah. It is funny. This was like the first time where I was like actively rooting, like, fucking kill Godzilla, fucking get him. Like, I've never really felt, even watching Shin Godzilla, I'm like, I see the pain of a creature evolving. But this, I'm like, leave him alone.
Same. I can't get the shot in my head, dude. The nuclear bomb, the shot of him just looking at his disaster of the nuke. It's like, it's so chilling.
I love the quick shot of Godzilla when he is mutated. Like you get a close up of the eye and like the mutation forming around his face.
And
the bomb.
It's really cool. Oh, and the callbacks to 54. I'm so happy you wanted us to watch the 54 film because
Mhm.
there's some great callbacks here, like with the news reporter. Straight up, just a callback to the 54 film when the news reporter is like, "We're watching Godzilla go,
Coming right this way.
like Havoc. He's coming right this way. We are about to die." It's one of the more comedic yet crazy scenes of 54 film where it's just like they have accepted their death.
Yeah.
And the same thing here where they're just like, "Oh, we're watching him. This is never before seen thing," and it's just like it's very similar, and they end up dying as well. But they end up dying. The building slides, and the shot like moves with the rubble. Very well directed, that whole sequence.
I was watching the second time. I was like, Tom Cruise can jump onto that before impact. I always put myself in that scenario. I'm like, if I'm falling at such a velocity, can I kick off something before I?
No, you're still. The velocity is consistent. You'll die.
If I fall off a building, can I slow myself?
Can I slow?
I actually did search that up. You cannot.
You cannot. It's because gravity, physics.
So we're just gonna grind you.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're right. I always do think about that. I really put myself in that shoes during the whole Ginza sequence. I'm like, it was fantastic.
Yeah. It was. I did also find it very creative, just like the end of like how they were going to stop Godzilla, because I see a water tank set up. I'm like, oxygen destroyer, are we doing it again?
Yeah, I was really nervous. I was like, because up to that point, like I mentioned, the whole Oda Island part, the whole reporter part. I was like, I've seen a lot of similarities to the 54 film. Are they just going to do oxygen again? I hope not. And it wasn't. It was very cool, unique.
Evan, I get so sad when I revisit King of the Monsters and see how lazily they use the oxygen destroyer.
Oh yeah, it's just like a pass-away thing where it doesn't.
It's a missile.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the design of it inside the missile, but it's just like they already had it.
It was just there. It was like, we gotta do it, guys. It's time.
Gotta do it, and they used it for Ghidorah. But like, oh, Godzilla happened to be there. That sucks. And then it almost kills Godzilla. It's weird.
By the way, so lastly, is the score different here from the 54 film? I couldn't tell any. Jayla said it sounds more bassy. Like this has more bass.
There's definitely some like tweaks and updates. Like after you hit like the main first few notes, sometimes it enters into its own originality. Other times it is just a full-fledged. And obviously it's a new recording. They didn't just like pull it and rip it. They performed a new one that fits in sync with their whole score.
Okay.
But all in all, it's a phenomenal score.
Okay. Yeah, I got it out. But yeah, man, this movie, it wrecked me. It made me smile. It made me hoot and holler. It was wow. It was now. It was how was this movie made? It's so good. This is crazy. This is the beauty of cinema, where it's just like a movie where I wasn't even predicting it earlier this year. I wasn't even seeing it coming, but it instantly crawls into my memory as one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a monster movie. Like this is crazy. This is, yeah. I've discovered a whole not discovered because I've been watching Godzilla films for a minute now, but like I really want to go back and watch some of the older ones. Maybe that can be one of our other 2024 commentary binges, just watching these old Godzilla movies.
I would love to curate some. I mean, not just like the old like 60s and 70s era, but like there's great ones from the 90s and the early 2000s. Like phenomenal stuff.
We gotta watch 98. It's fun.
Yeah,
Fun.
that would be fun. I'd do like a number of Emmerich films we could do.
We definitely. Yeah, we talked about that. Roland is he is quite the filmography. But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter on Harris EV9XJ9.
You brought it back. It's been a month.
It's been a minute. Gushing about Godzilla, not trying to compare it to Shin Godzilla all the time, like I see some idiots on Twitter doing, because they're both great. They're both fantastic.
The director and writer who did the VFX of -1 did the VFX of Shin Godzilla.
Oh, that's amazing. I did not know that. That's cool. So yeah, it's fantastic. Oh yeah, the director of this one wants to do a Star Wars film. So Kathy, call him right now. Give him anything he wants. Because that'd be great. Because you always hear Japanese writers, directors. We all watch, Visions. They always want to do more Star Wars stuff. The people in Japan, they love Star Wars. So give them more Star Wars projects because their work, Visions, it's so good. Don't give him Visions. I want an actual theatrical film from him, but yeah. Give him the world.
Show me Disney Plus episode.
Yeah. So yeah, find me on Hair Steven 9 talking all things Godzilla. Trying to create, could be made to December now. Trying to see like what other movies I need to watch to the end of the year. I'm at 85 movies. I usually want to try to get to 100. I might not get there this time, unfortunately. Unless I watch 15 movies in 1 month. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just trying to count that down. Reading Star Wars: The High Republic, The Eye of Darkness. I don't have time to read that much, dude. I've been so behind my reading because I've been playing games and doing podcasts with you. No, but work is killing me these days.
Winter break's coming, surely.
December 15th. But who's counting? Yeah, not me. I can't wait. December 15th, then I'm free from these crazy kids. So yeah, I'm just
kids.
These meddling kids. But yeah, that's it for me.
Find me _ Time Blazer. Whoa. Time Blazer making a show called Time Blazer with co-starring creative consultant Evan Harris.
Playing Ben the best character. Are we going to have a Time Blazer stream by the end of the year? Except for this guy.
Like deep in my soul, I want that so bad. If I can make a fucking,
we can just talk about it. Just shoot the shit for an hour or something.
You're right. I wouldn't mind doing that. But god damn it, like we've done that twice. I want to bring some new. I want footage. I want new art. I want album tracks.
Do what Lucasfilm did at the 2016 Star Wars Celebration. Featurette. Sizzle. Give us a sizzle.
A sizzle. Yeah, interview of the cast. Like, yeah, he DM'd me.
One of the cast members going to say they died at the end.
Fuck. Hope not.
2016 celebration was wild.
Jesus, I rewatched that clip and I just seen
it's so awkward.
Alan Tudyk and Donnie Yen just big.
He was like, it's so bad.
Did they kick him off the press from that point?
Probably, yeah.
God.
Just stick to Donnie Yen, yeah.
I was like reading replies of people like at Celebration in the crowd, just like, what did he say?
Yeah, most of them were just like, what? It was more confusion than just like, oh, he definitely said he's dying. Yeah. But anyways, you know.
But that being said, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, not ring the bell, so you miss future coverage on all things kaiju and beyond. And that being said, hope you have a great day. Catch you guys next time.